Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into your Strategic Business Leader class. I hope you all are doing well. This is Matlub Ilahi, your SBL course leader. It's a pleasure having all of you in my class, and thank you very much for joining our course. First of all, I would little bit introduce myself. I have been teaching in Mauritius. You might have heard about me from 2013 to 2019. And my two core areas of expertise are strategic business leader and advanced performance management. These are the two subjects that I love to teach, and I have a passion to teach, and both subjects basically, I believe, flow in my blood. I have been teaching overall for last more than 15 years. Previously, it was a business analysis paper, and now it is SBL paper. So before we move on, I would like to ask you a few questions, means your introduction, little bit your introduction and few questions. So first question with that I am interested to know, what you have heard about SBL paper? What kind of stories you have heard about this paper? What are your thoughts about this paper? That's important for me to know. So you can share. You can start with, hello, Deepsha. You can start with introducing yourself and like
hello. Hello, sir. Well, I've not heard too much about the SBL so far. Only one friend told me that it's a tough paper, so that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, next is Nafisa. Hello, Nafisa.
Yes, hello, sir. So basically for the strategic business leader, it's a paper that has been merged. So, and it comprises of various concepts, business concepts.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, next, please, Chandrima.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I have done this paper twice and I failed the paper. I'm retaking the courses so I can do better for my next exam.
All right. Okay. Okay. So how did you find this paper?
It's a bit tough. It's different from other papers.
Okay.
It touches all aspects in a business, not only one like accounting or finance. It touches different aspects of the papers.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Preeti. Would you like to share, please, with us your thoughts?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
What I heard about the business strategic leader is that it's a tough paper, and it's a new concept. It's us from 2018. I don't know much. This is my first attempt, so it's a pleasure being part of the academy.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. We hope that we will be able to deliver more than what you guys have expected from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, Deepshika, please.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So it's Deepshika here. So it's my first paper, SBL, and I've heard that it's about management and theories and leadership. There are lots of concepts to be learned.
Okay. So this is what you have heard from your friends.
Yes.
All right. Next, I think Yo. Hello. Hello, Amit. Would you like to share with us your thoughts about this paper? Amit, you can hear me? Okay, all right. Next, Zohra. Hello, Zohra. Would you like to share with us your thoughts about this paper? What do you think of this paper, SBL?
Good afternoon, sir. I have heard that it is a theory paper with a case study, and there are many concepts we have to learn, many models.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. It is a theoretical paper. All right, thank you very much. Next is Hashika. Hello, Hashika. Okay, and yes, who is left now? Hello, Walia. Would you like to share with us your thoughts about this paper, please? Okay, so basically this document that we are going to discuss now, this I have prepared. I name it as introductory manual, and this manual will give you a clear insights about SBL paper. What is this paper? Its syllabus, its paper pattern, style. I have tried my best to integrate almost every question that you might have in your mind in this manual. Okay, so the plan for today, our plan for today is that first of all, we are going to discuss what this paper is about. Okay, what is SBL syllabus and how this paper is tested. We will be discussing all these sort of things. And then in the second part of our today class, we will be learning about few models of SBL. Means we will be starting, okay, the syllabus as well. All right, so in the first part of this class, we are going to discuss what this paper is about. So here is the topic list that this manual would be covering. First of all, business world in 2022, why strategic business leader was introduced, what is strategic business leader all about, detailed syllabus, how is SBL syllabus examined, structure of SBL CBE paper, road to success, how is the exam to be marked, general tips to earn professional skills marks, why students fail in SBL, and how will I add value. So these are the topics we are going to cover in quick way in this manual. So before starting and moving on, I would like you to have some discussion with me. By the way, you might have heard from your friends or your colleagues, my teaching style is two-way, okay? Because I believe in two-way learning. What is two-way learning? What is two-way learning? Although we are in virtual class and you expect me that delivering a very good lecture, okay? But I try my best to make this virtual class more lively, more engaging, more connected, where you feel just like as if you are sitting like in a face-to-face class. You are having a live class. You should feel more engaged. This will be one of key feature in this session, or one of the key feature of my classes, where I try my best to keep my students connected. Okay, so two way of learning is that I would expect your participation as well. Your participation. Okay, your participation. I will ask you questions. I will need your input when we will be discussing something, a model or a framework. I would expect you guys as well to give your input, give your analysis. That is very important, very, very important, very critical. If I just keep speaking, that will be just like a robot class, okay, where one way of communication, and you may not be connected in that way. Okay, but when you will share your thoughts, when you will share your input, okay, you will learn more. You might have experienced that type of phenomena, that when you ask questions to your lecturer, okay, when you share your thoughts, when you participate in analysis, you learn better. When you speak, you learn better. So this is one of the key objectives of my lectures, will be to maximize your participation, your engagement in the class, so you can learn better, and more. All right, so now we are starting with a very common question that I ask in my SBL and Advanced Performance Management classes. I hope you all are working, and I ask you a question: what type of challenges 21st century organizations are facing? I am repeating my question. What do you think? What type of challenges today organizations are facing? Now, I am expecting your input to this question. You can just simply type or speak one challenge minimum, one issue minimum, okay, one problem minimum, one problem that the modern organizations are facing, okay, or in your organization where you are working, what type of challenges your organization is facing today? Yes, please. Any student can start. We can start with Nafisa. Hello, Nafisa. What do you think?
Yes.
What type of challenges organizations are facing today?
So high turnover, and also maybe attracting people with the right talent.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you think organizations are facing this problem today? Yes?
Yes.
All right, good. Next, please, Chandrima. Hello, Chandrima.
I believe it is managing people. My organization is also facing the problem of managing people. As Narsad said, there is a high labor turnover.
Okay, all right. But if you look external, you have just shared an internal problem of the organization. If you look outside, what bigger and broader challenges organizations are facing? What type of learning you are having from newspapers and magazines and industry articles? Okay, we can ask same question to Preeti. Hello, Preeti, would you like to shed some light, please?
Yes, actually high prices, competitive forces, right in Mauritius, for example, everything is getting higher prices. What I would say much, I agree with Nafiza that high labor turnover, because people are not doing the job that they like as per their field, for example, and they are moving and trying jobs. I would say trying because they are not, they don't like actually the work they are doing, but they prefer to move to field that they are studying. It's difficult actually to have the work that according to your field. There are different issues actually, competitive forces, internal and external, it's both.
All right, thank you very much for having detailed analysis. Yes, next. Hello, Deepshika. Would you like to share your thoughts? What organizations are facing today, the problems, the challenges?
So due to COVID-19 pandemic, so we've seen that many businesses are adopting work from home. So it's become important for the companies how they are managing the people. I mean, working from home, working remotely, how they should adapt to technology while doing businesses. So it's how companies are managing their staff.
All right, very good analysis. People management organizations are facing problems in people management. Thank you very much. Hello, Zohra. Would you like to please share your thoughts, the challenges modern organizations are facing?
Organizations are facing revenue problems because, like, due to many circumstances in the world, like the Russian war or COVID, many organizations are not making enough profit. So this affects our organization. Like our clients are not being able to pay. Some are being wound up.
Okay, all right. Revenue, profitability issues. Okay, all right. Next is Deepsha. Hello, Deepsha.
Hello, sir. So with the COVID-19 issues, we now see that companies are trying very hard to cope with the increase in prices. First of all, increase in prices. Secondly, like everything is going, prices are literally going up. And then we have another issue, the labor turnover issue. Employees are seeking increase in their salary, but companies are not being able to meet their demand, so they opt to leave for better offers. Companies are suffering both in terms of prices, in terms of labor.
All right. Interesting analysis. Thank you, Deepsha. Hello, Yo. We can't pronounce your complete name. You just have mentioned YO. Would you like to share your thoughts on the challenges modern organizations are facing, please? Next is Hashika. Hello, Hashika. Would you like to share with us the challenges, the problems modern organizations are facing? Okay, all right. Coping with market competition, keeping up with market transformation. Good point. Very good point. Thank you. Hello, Walia. Can you please share with us the challenges?
Hello, yes. So the impact of COVID-19 has been really severe on companies. Prices have been rising continuously. And there is also the problem of technological innovation. It's continually innovating. Yes, that's it.
All right, thank you. And next, hello, Doya. I think you have just joined us. So would you like to please share with us the challenges which modern organizations are facing today?
Hello. Actually, my voice is not too good. So again, with COVID-19 and with all the business fluctuations and all that we're facing. So yeah, maybe that's affecting profitability and staff turnover as well.
Yes, true. Absolutely true. And we would like Amit. Hello, Amit. Can you please share with us your
Hello,
thoughts?
sir.
Hello.
Actually, one of the biggest challenges that businesses are facing are rapid changes in technology. We have seen that businesses who can't adapt to changes in technology lag behind, and changes in technology helps many businesses to reduce their costs.
Yes.
When those who can't adapt, who can't innovate, normally they have issues to continue to operate.
Difficult to operate. Exactly. You are right. And thank you, Amit. So thank you very much, everyone, for sharing your thoughts. It was important to discuss and to get your point of view. You know, this is one of the feature of my classes, to keep you connected, to encourage you to participate and think beyond thinking. Think beyond thinking. That is one of the feature that we will keep discussing. So I have put a list for you, the biggest challenges today organizations are facing. Why this is important? You are studying Strategic Business Leader paper. SBL is very big paper. This is not ordinary, frankly speaking. Okay, although it is easy to pass, but if we look at the scope of this paper is very broad, and this paper has a lot to teach you. This paper has a lot to train you. Okay, one of the key aspects this paper requires you, one of the key requirement of this paper is to keep you updated with the latest trends, with the latest thinking, with the latest patterns, with the latest developments, with the latest issues which modern organizations are facing. Basically, these challenges are put in the paper as well. This is why we need to know what is currently going on in the world. So, and this will be one of the aspects of my classes as well, to keep you updated with what is going on in the world outside Mauritius. Okay, on the global scale, what is happening and why this is relevant for you as well. Let's begin. Biggest challenges which organizations are facing. So start with, first of all, inflation. We know that the prices are going to rise, are rising all across the globe. Especially, you might have noticed in Mauritius as well, that the two areas of pricing, especially energy prices, petrol, diesel, furnace oil, coal, okay, their prices are going up. Have you experienced this in Mauritius as well? Okay, energy prices are going up all across the globe. So the companies are facing the heat of increasing energy cost. Energy cost, yes, my dear, energy cost. You have heard right. You would be amazed that advanced countries in the world, advanced countries like Australia, like Japan, like even Germany as well, they have started rationing energy. Yes. Have you heard about rationing energy? Yes, my dear. They are going to make more optimum use of energy. Okay, why? The reason behind is you might have heard about the war between Russia and Ukraine and how the energy prices are going up and up in the whole world. So that's why. And yes, not only the energy prices are increasing, but energy scarcity, especially EU, European countries, because European countries, they heavily rely on Russian gas and Russian oil. And in EU, the Germany, the industrial powerhouse, German manufacturing, you might have heard, is one of the leading in the world. German manufacturing. You know, big German brands such as Siemens, such as BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, Volkswagen, all these companies heavily rely on energy, Even this is just small example I have shared with you. If we talk about the bigger scale of German manufacturing, they heavily rely, German steel, okay, they have steel industry, you know, heavily rely on energy, the gas coming from Russia, and Russia and Ukraine are in war. So there are sanctions on Russian energy. So there are big troubles companies are facing in different global zones. Yes, my dear, companies are facing different type of challenges in different regions of the world. Number two, inflation is really affecting the food. Food prices are going up. You might have experienced it in Mauritius, but you are not just alone. The whole world, from United States to Japan, to Australia, to UK, to Norway, if we look the whole world, okay, the whole world is facing the food scarcity and food inflation. Okay, even I was just reading a report today that the wheat prices, the wheat inflation or wheat prices has increased as compared to the last year, same month of the last year, almost 80%. Similarly, the other key basket commodities such as rice, such as maize, such as oil, the edible oil, okay, their prices has increased. Why? There are again many reasons. There are many reasons. Number one reason is the Ukraine. Okay, you might have heard that Ukraine is one of the largest sunflower oil producer in the world. Okay, and because of the war, Ukraine is unable to export its wheat. Yes, it is one of the largest producer of wheat and sunflower oil. Okay, canola, sunflower, and wheat. So it is unable to export. So the overall supply in the global markets is low. And you might also have heard that now some countries are putting ban on export of certain commodities. For example, Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's largest palm oil producer and exporter in the world. You might have heard in the news that Indonesia has put a ban on the export of palm oil. Why? Because local price is going up. Similarly, you might have heard that India, first, they offer that they are going to fill the gap in the wheat market that was caused by the Ukraine and Russia war. But later on, India also decided not to export. Have you heard this type of news? Have you heard this type of news? So you might have heard this news, understand? And this drove the prices of wheat up. Understand why? Why India decided not to export? Because of the temperature, because of the climate change. Have you heard that the severe drought and the expected temperature rise during the month of Feb and March? Okay, it has severely impacted the wheat output in the Pakistan and India. Okay, you might have heard India is second largest wheat producer in the world. So it has impacted, the yield has affected. I am just sharing with you a few things. Similarly, let's talk about Brazil. Sugar prices are also going up. Why? Because Brazil is world's largest sugar producer. But what is happening? The Brazil sugar producers are converting, instead of producing sugar, they are producing ethanol. Because of the energy prices are going up. So the manufacturers in Brazil, they want to get more benefit from selling ethanol rather than the sugar. Plus the droughts, the massive droughts in the Brazil have also increased the problem. Got it? Now imagine the companies. Now think of companies which are dealing in agriculture. Think of companies engaged or operating in food businesses. The world's biggest companies such as Unilever, such as Nestle, okay? The world's biggest companies, understand, how are they dealing with all these problems? What type of decisions are they making? Here is the role of the leadership. How the leaders are making decisions, okay? How are they changing their supply chains? How are they looking for new alternatives of their supply chain instead of relying on one country? Now, this is a new phenomena that companies and countries, they are now diversifying their sources of raw materials and inputs. This is a new phenomena has started. So if a country was relying on Indonesia for palm oil, now that country has started reducing its reliance on Indonesia, started looking for alternative sources of supply because the supply chain has become uncertain. Global supply chain becoming uncertain. For example, Singapore, how Malaysia put a ban on export of chicken exports, put ban on chicken exports. Now, most of the chicken in Singapore comes from Malaysia. So imagine when Malaysia put a ban on chicken export, Singapore would be feeling the most heat from that decision. Understand? So imagine the whole world is facing these issues, and this is expected to continue. Understand? Because of the recent climate change issues, you might have heard in some parts of the world, there's a massive droughts, now rains, floods. So all these are affecting climate change. Climate change is really affecting. I hope you are getting the bigger picture. This is SBL paper. This type of problems you can expect in the SBL paper, my dear. Move on. Next is supply chain disruption. I have just shared with you that how the world energy, the food supplies are affecting. But here is another issue which I want in your notice, okay? That is chip shortage. Chip shortage. You might have heard that the world is facing the chip shortage as well, also called semiconductors. And we know that increasing number of industries are relying on chips now. Imagine your car, for example. Your cars might have dozens of sensors inside your new car, okay? So all those sensors are chips. So imagine there are dozens of chips are used in a single car, okay? But when there is a shortage of chips, the whole auto supply chain, not only auto, but toys and electronics industries are getting affected. Why? Because there are only few manufacturers of chips. You may know about chips supply chains. There are only few manufacturers, okay? And the largest manufacturer is in Taiwan, okay? So overall, there is a shortage of chips. Overall, the whole world is facing the problem of supply chain. Logistics prices are going up, okay? Cost of shipping are going up. So this all is affecting the whole global trade. Next, already I gave you some insights about Russia-Ukraine war, that how this is worsening the global food and energy supply chain. I told you example of Germany, okay, and not only just Germany, but other countries in the world that rely, even Africa, a lot of African countries that were like taking wheat from the Ukraine and oil from the Russia. Okay, so a lot of African countries are also badly affected because of this war. Next, we can talk about the new technologies. We can see that how the technology disruption is going on, how technology transformation is going on. We can see that during the pandemic, okay, how the world has become, the world has changed now. Before the pandemic, the virtual meetings, the virtual classrooms, the virtual remote work from home culture, these type of things were just rare. But today we can see this is now in mainstream. In mainstream, we can see that increasing number of companies have like gone for work from home. Okay, so this is just a single part of the story, that how companies are getting affected, how their strategies are getting affected, my dear. Business models are changing. Okay, technology is at the center. The new technologies such as big data, such as AI, such as machine learning, Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, and virtual platforms. These are all robotics, okay, automation. All these technologies are transforming businesses. So this is another big challenge for companies operating in different industries, how to transform their business model, how to digitally transform. We say digitally transform their business models. Okay, we can see the new business models are thriving. For example, we can talk about Netflix. We can talk about Amazon. We can talk about Spotify. Okay, and even we can talk about Zoom as well, that how the virtual platforms are winning, how these companies, these brands are winning. And we can also add, for example, Microsoft. We can talk about Apple, for example. How these companies are winning. We can talk about Google. Its parent company is Alphabet. Understand how these companies are disrupting, reinventing their business models. I am using the word reinventing their business models. Not only they are reinventing their business models, but they are also transforming industries as well. Yes, my dear, this is something new learning for you. Industries are going through restructuring. Okay, if we look back 10 or 15 years back, many industries that we see today were not present 15 years back. For example, let's talk about Spotify or Netflix. Okay, we call it now industries restructuring. For example, online streaming. We see that streaming, how the platforms such as Disney, such as Apple, such as Amazon, such as Netflix, how are they competing with each other? 15 years back, this was not the phenomenon. We talk about Spotify, for example, one of the now biggest music platform, Spotify, how it is winning. It is all about algorithms. Okay, it is all about algorithms. It's all about how they keep inventing and restructuring and reinventing their business models, my dear. Understand? So we are living in 21st century where organizations are facing new challenges, where organizations are facing new problems and new opportunities. Don't just think challenges, there are opportunities as well. There are winners as well. There are winners. The list I have just put on screen, all these are winners, but there are losers as well. Understand? Those companies who are failing to transform, who are failing to reinvent their business models, who keep relying on their old style of operation, those days are gone. I can tell you, any company that is still relying on their old business model, they cannot adapt to these challenges. You need new management philosophy. You need new way to operate. You need new strategy. You need new skills, new competencies, new capabilities. You need new resources. Understand? This we can see. And these companies are clearly the winners because they have transformed themselves. Understand? So there are, this is an endless discussion, by the way, and we, in our every class, we will have a touch of IT, information technology, how information technology is transforming. Even, my dear, I can tell you more that now we are moving towards service-based business models. Yes, you have heard right. Service-based business models. What is this? What is this? Service-based business models, for example, there is an article for you that I will share. Service-based business models, like previously manufacturing companies are now going into service-based business models. So instead of selling their product, they are now renting their product. And this is called circular economy or circular economy or circular business model, where companies, they don't sell, but they rent. So top companies that have started experimenting service-based business models, such as Philips, such as Michelin, the world's largest tire manufacturer, Michelin, and even ACCA has started renting now. So imagine how accounting and finance, this is my question to you. Now I want your participation. How accounting and finance are being transformed. Okay, we can talk the same, such as revenue streams, new revenue streams. Okay, how company will record their revenues, how will they record their cost, and how they will record their profitability, what will impact on the share prices, what will be the impact on the market price of the company, valuation, and a lot of new discussions, new topics are emerging, my dear. This is future of finance. All right, okay, next. This is endless discussion. Next, pandemic. Next problem, pandemic. How pandemic has affected companies. We all know about that. Okay, how the fixed rental, even it was difficult for companies to pay their fixed rentals. It was difficult for companies to even pay their loans. So there were like hundreds and thousands of companies went bankrupted. Okay, went out of business. Why? Because they were unable to cope with the challenges of the pandemic. Think of the tourism. Think of, like, for example, in Mauritius, health industry, how a health industry has thrived in the pandemic, and how the tourism industry, such as hotels, for example, they have get badly affected because of the pandemic. Understand? So there were some winners and some losers of the pandemic. So the point here is that how the world, business world, is becoming uncertain. The whole discussion is here. And this is SBL paper, integrated thinking. In SBL paper, you need to think broad, you need to think integrated, understand? And this requires a broader set of knowledge for you, a broader set of knowledge for you. Next, social and social media. And yes, how the customers are changing, how the society is changing, the pressure groups are changing. New pressure groups are emerging. Okay, for example, the online, think of the social media, how it has become like difficult for organizations to move. Why? Because they have to be very careful in choosing their new strategy, in even designing their new advertisement as well. They need to be very careful how the people would respond to this new advertisement. We are living in era of Twitter. We are living in era of Facebook. We are living in era of TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so companies are under more pressure now because the customers are demanding companies to be more socially responsible. Customers are demanding companies to be more social, more environment friendly. Customers are demanding companies, hey, your product must be sustainable. Your product must be environment friendly. Your product must be recyclable. Your product must be reusable. Okay, so these are the new patterns. And yes, there are so many social trends are emerging. More and more people are becoming health conscious. More and more people are now quitting the fast foods, the carbonated drinks, and they are choosing more healthy lifestyles. Okay, so new industries are emerging, fitness, lifestyle industries. New companies are emerging, new startups are emerging. You might have heard about plant-based foods. In Mauritius, you might have seen plant-based foods, okay, or even lab-grown food. Lab-grown food. So these are the new emerging trends now. Increasing number of people are going vegan. Okay, if you have visited like Europe or America, you might have noticed increasing number of restaurants are becoming vegan. Increasing, even on the KFC and McDonald's menu, you can see the vegan options. Is it available in Mauritius? Vegan options, plant-based. They make plant-based patties or plant-based burgers. Is it in Mauritius? Have you seen? Hello? In Mauritius, KFC or McDonald's, have they introduced? Although they have introduced in USA and Canada. Okay. So my dear, these are the new patterns. Next, regulation. You might have heard that how the regulation is changing across the globe. Increasing number of countries are now trying to control the big tech. Big tech, for example, Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, increasing number of countries, for example, Australia, for example, UK, Germany, France, they have recently introduced a new law that aims to control the behavior of social media, control the behavior of big tech, control the behavior of algorithms. Understand? So new laws are emerging. So this is requires new understanding, new strategy, new thinking. We are in 21st century. Next, climate change. I just gave you a snapshot of climate change, that how the food systems are getting affected. Food supply chain are getting affected. And imagine the human life depends upon food. It is about the survival of humanity. It is about existence issue, existential issue of humanity, climate change. And this is reality. This is reality. You might have heard the unprecedented weather patterns. In Pakistan and India, I told you, the unprecedented heat wave in the month of Feb and March that badly affected the crops. Ultimately, yields were low. Ultimately, now imagine this region, China, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, they represent one of the largest population in the world, that this region. Understand? So imagine if the climate change is going to affect the food systems, how these countries will feed their billions of people. And this is a big problem. Big problem. You might have heard the water scarcity in this region. You might have heard about the water crisis in this region. Okay, so all this is affected. So the companies, the business organizations that rely on natural resources, that rely on natural inputs, for example, crops, for example, water, they are going to be affected. So this is why increasing number of companies and businesses are adapting, are adopting to change. Okay, Unilever, for example, Coca-Cola, for example, Nestle, for example, you might have seen how they are introducing new plans, new products, especially, for example, packaging, for example, the use of plastic, how they are transforming their business models. And my dear, when we were talking about regulation, I just focus on technology regulation, but you should also know that there are tech regulation, plus there is regulation about the climate change as well. Let's talk about accounting standards. Yeah, accounting standards, for example. Have you heard that the IFRS is also introducing the sustainability standards? Do you know about that? You can just comment. You can just comment. Have you heard about sustainability standards? Have you heard about SASB? SASB. My dear, this is the future of standards. Right now, there is a big movement is going on. There's a big transformation is going on in the accountancy as well. So please, you are my students. I want you to remain ahead, remain updated. Please have some search about SASB. Have some read about reporting. The reporting is changing now. Are you aware of that? Are you aware that the reporting is under massive change, corporate reporting. Okay, have you heard about GRI? Have you heard about integrated reporting? So these are the new changes and challenges which organizations are facing and have to face. There are new frameworks of reporting are being worked, and there's a lot of work is going on right now in the reporting, especially climate reporting. You might have heard in USA, for example, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has introduced climate reporting requirements, climate related reporting, mandatory, all companies that are listed. Okay, so climate related reporting has become mandatory for those companies in US, SEC, and even it is becoming mandatory in many countries now. So, and this, yes, the last point is competition. Competition. The nature of the competition, my dear, has dramatically changed. Competition is not like how companies were competing, you can say 20 years back. No, the nature of competition is very, very different today. Very, very different today. Okay. Today, there are new competitors. There are platforms. Don't use the traditional competition. We are competing in the era of platforms. So how a company will compete with an Amazon? How will a company compete with Spotify, with Netflix, with Disney? How a company will compete? For example, think of electric cars, for example. When Tesla was introduced, the whole auto industry was just in making of conventional cars, diesel, petrol cars. But now there's a race for electric cars. So imagine how Tesla disrupted the whole auto industry. So these are the issues which you can expect in the SBL paper, my dear. These are the issues SBL paper will be discussing. All right, I hope that you are now clear now on the biggest challenges modern organizations are facing. Okay, are you bit updated now? Are you updated now? Are you having a bigger picture now?
Yes, sir.
About modern organizations' challenges? Any question? Any question? This is SBL paper. SBL paper requires you to be updated, to know the world. Move on. So next is, what is SBL all about? Some students might think that SBL is the combination of the old papers P3 and P1. No, my dear. No, not at all. SBL is a completely new thing. SBL Leader, Strategic Business Leader, has not been designed as a replacement for the old exams such as P3 and P1 old, but as something completely different, which adds much greater value and which students will see as being a more coherent and holistic syllabus than either syllabus of the previous two exams. If we look at the syllabus of the SBL, you need to think integrated. This is one of the features of SBL paper. Think integrated. Integrated means everything in the paper you need to think in one go, not in isolation. I mean, all the topics in the paper are connected with each other. connected with each other, connected with each other. Let's have a quick look at the main sections of the syllabus. So there is section A of the syllabus where you will learn about the leadership. Leadership, very important. Leadership. We know the importance of visionary leaders for the organization because they are the visionary leaders who are proactive, who can see the future and then prepare in advance. So we need visionary leaders. Number two, governance. Number two, governance. How important is the governance? Even today, the importance of the governance is more than ever before. It is about board. It is about the style of the board. It is about controls in the organization. It is about risk management in the organization. It's about strategy of the organization. It is about the business model change of the organization. It is about deciding about markets, customers, and territories and geographies and regions. It is about deciding on acquisition, merger, alliances. So board needs new skills. And we are living in an era of technological and environmental disruption. Yes, you have heard right. We are living in an era of technology, tech plus environment disruption era. Disruption era. So we need new approach to management. We need more robust leadership. And this is part of the governance. Next, strategy. Okay, strategy of the organization. Next, risk management within the organization. Next is about technology and data analytics. Technology and data analytics. Next is about organizational controls. Next is about finance. Of course, when we are talking about strategy, we are talking about governance, we are talking about controls, we are talking about risk management, we are talking about leadership, we are talking about mergers, acquisitions, new markets, new products. We need finance. So finance is part of all that. And then the section H is about innovation, performance, excellence, and change management. Okay, here you will learn about innovation, okay, the importance of innovation for the organization, the new ideas, creativity. Here you will learn about how to improve performance and how to achieve excellence level of performance. And then you will end up with last topic of change management. Okay, by the way, we are living in an era where an organization constantly need change. Just one change is not enough. There is need to be in the state of change all the time. State of change all the time. So dear, and the last I section of the syllabus is about professional skills. The 5 professional skills that you will need to not only learn, but also apply as well. Learn and apply those 5 skills. Okay, so this is a quick glance of the syllabus. Here, all the details, little bit details I have tried to include, okay, of each section that is part of the syllabus. Anyway, now how you need to look at the syllabus, how you need to look at the syllabus. By the way, there are minor changes in the syllabus, not major. Little changes in the syllabus. So you need to think practical, solution oriented. When you are studying the syllabus, please don't just study theoretically. No way. Think practically. When you are learning about a model, you need to ask question, how this model can be applied. In what circumstances this model can be suitable for the organization, and how an organization can apply this model successfully. Okay, so this is called think practical, solution-oriented mind. Next, think of real issues. real issues, okay, which organizations are facing, and how the syllabus content can help to solve those issues. So this is what you need to develop, this type of mindset, practical mindset, solution-oriented mindset. Next, plan before each lecture. That is very important thing, very important, that I strongly recommend you. For before every lecture, please plan your time, okay? Please plan, you will have 1 week of time before every lecture. So you should note down, go through your notes, read the extra supplementary material for the lecture. Prepare your questions that you will be asking me in the next class. This is a very effective approach if you follow it, okay? So definitely we will work together where I will help you to plan before each lecture so that each lecture would become meaningful to you. Next, read support materials. All this I will provide you: support articles, support videos, support like podcasts. If you are using iPhone, okay, there are podcasts that I will recommend you to listen about that. So the purpose is to prepare you for your exam very well. Next, let's have a quick look at the syllabus outline. What you are going to learn in SBL. Section A of the syllabus is about leadership. So here you will learn about qualities of leadership. You will learn here about leadership and organizational culture. Culture is very important. You remember we have been talking about the change, transformation. We have been talking about transformation, organizational transformation, because we are living in 21st century, and 21st century organization is the one, if it wants to succeed, it needs to constantly change, constantly reinvent itself, constantly develop new products, new services. Otherwise, the organization may lose against the new competitors. New competitors, my dear. So then professionalism, ethical codes, and the public interest. These are the topics part of the leadership. Section B is about governance. Here you will learn about agency problem. Agent. Who is agent? Directors, board of directors are the agents of their principals. Who are the principals? The primary principals are the shareholders. Primary principals are the investors who have invested in the company, and those who have appointed the directors to manage their company. So, agency problem, what is this? You will learn here. Stakeholder analysis and organizational social responsibility. Here you will learn about the different types of stakeholders, okay, that an organization would have, and how to manage the different types of stakeholders. Next, governance scope and approaches. You will learn here about the 2 types of governance systems, okay, rule-based and principle-based. Rule-based system of governance is used in the US, and the principle-based system is used in the UK. So you will have opportunity to learn both styles of governance. Next is reporting to stakeholders. Already told you that modern organizations have more stakeholders than ever before. There are new stakeholders. Even new stakeholders can be your climate, your like area, nature, plants, trees, forests, okay, the natural the nature ecosystems, okay, that can be the stakeholder. I am not talking about the suppliers, customers, community, society. I am talking about other stakeholders. Birds, for example, fish stock, for example, can be the stakeholders. So this is becoming more important for organization. Reporting is becoming a very critical. Even organizations are using report for better communication with their stakeholders. And this is the repeatedly tested topic in the SBL, my dear. Yes, this has been repeatedly tested in the SBL, that how the integrated report can be used as effective communication tool, how integrated report can be used for better decision making, how integrated report can be used for better communication to satisfy different groups of stakeholders. So reporting is key. In the governance, reporting is part of the governance, by the way. Reporting is part of governance. Next, board of directors. Here you will learn about different types of directors, executive directors, non-executive directors, their roles, their responsibilities, their education, their training, their remuneration, different types of committees. You will be learning all that about. And then public sector governance. How public sector, for example, the government organization, what type of governance would be suitable for them. So this is governance. Next section is about strategy of the organization. You will learn here about different types of strategy, how strategies are formulated. You will learn here about environmental issues and how different environmental factors affect organization. You will learn here about competitive forces, okay? How different forces of competition affect the organization. You will learn here about internal resources, capabilities, competencies, and how these can be used for sustainable competitive advantage. Yes, how the resources, capabilities, and competencies can be used by an organization to achieve competitive advantage. Next, you will learn here about strategic choices. Strategic choices, how to make choice. Then the next topic is about risk. Okay, you will learn here about how to identify, how to assess, how to measure different types of risk. For example, there would be a long list of the risk which the modern organizations are facing. Okay, long list of risk: operational risk, strategic risk, supply chain risk, ethical risk, governance risk, stakeholders risk, reputation risk, material risk, forex risk. There are so many types of risk which the modern organizations are facing. Okay, next, managing, monitoring, and mitigating risk. How to manage, how to monitor, how to mitigate the different types of risk you will learn here about. Next section is about technology and data. You will learn here about cloud technology and mobile technologies. You will learn here about big data and data analytics. You will learn here about e-business and value chain, how e-business can be used by the organization for their competitive advantage. You will learn here about IT systems, security, and controls. Okay. Section F, you will learn here about management, organization control, and audit. For example, you will learn here about management and internal control systems. You will learn here about audit and compliance, and you will learn here about reporting and controls, internal control and reporting. Section G is about finance and planning and decision making. What you will learn here, you will learn here about what is finance function. My dear, you will learn here about the latest developments. Latest developments in finance. For example, fintech, blockchain. Although blockchain has been removed from the syllabus, but still you little bit learn about. Financial analysis and decision-making techniques. Of course, when you are going to make a decision, for example, about acquiring a company, about merger, about new share issue, about debt, about equity. So how you will make this decision? Here, you will be using different like capital investment appraisal techniques such as NPV, such as IRR, such as payback, such as sensitivity analysis. You will be learning here about capital investment appraisal. Okay, this is directly involved. Why? Because think of merger decisions, acquisition decisions, debt decisions. For example, a company is planning to enter into a new market and to launch a new product, open a new factory, purchase a new technology, purchase a new startup. So debt, equity, you will be learning. It is not very detailed financial management, just like as in P4 or F9, no, but relevant to the SBL. And then you will learn about the cost and management techniques. For example, cost and management techniques such as budgeting, such as variance analysis, such as make or buy decisions, such as like lease decisions, such as outsourcing decisions. So these type of decisions, because these are part of strategy of the organization. So you will learn here about that. Last section, section H, is about innovation, performance, excellence, and change management. So what will you learn here about? Enabling success, organizing, structuring. Okay, how to enable success. So you will learn here about how to structure the organization, how to structure the organization. Okay, so traditional structure such as divisional structure or such as functional structure, but we are living in a flat structure organization. Today, organizations are more flat than ever before. Okay, we are living in boundaryless organization. Boundaryless organization. Okay, where organizations are using external suppliers, external like partners, alliances, partners. Why? Because in 21st century, an organization cannot compete in isolation. It needs alliances. It needs partners where it can collaborate. Okay, collaboration for innovation, for creativity. Think of the most creative companies in the world, most innovative companies in the world, such as, for example, think of Nike or Nike, one of the most innovative company. Think of Disney, one of the most innovative company. Think of Adobe, one of the most innovative company. Think of Apple and many more companies. Okay, they don't just rely on their internal resources, they also rely on external, use external expertise. For example, Apple products are designed in California. You might have read on the Apple products designed in California. If you are using your iPhone, iPad, or MacBook, or AirPods, designed in California. But where are they made? My dear, where are Apple products made? Hello? My question is, where are Apple products made?
China.
Or China. Yes, perfect. Or Nike, your favorite sneakers, for example. Your favorite sneakers, for example, Jordan. Where are they made? Next time, when you go to buy your Nike sneakers, you look at the details, product details. You may find that it would be made in Vietnam, or it might be made in Cambodia. Okay, so this is how come even the BMW, for example, Porsche, okay, how these companies rely on external expertise in design and development of their products. My dear, we are in 21st century. And let me tell you, the challenges we have discussed earlier, an organization cannot face or cannot deal with all those challenges alone. It needs new collaborations. I hope you are learning all this. Next. Enabling success. Disruptive technologies such as platforms, fintech, crypto, blockchain, cloud computing, how these technologies are transforming the business operations. Enabling success. Here you will learn about the combination of 4 factors. It is also called POPIT model. POPIT model is the combination of the people, organization, processes, and information technology. Next, you will learn about how to achieve performance excellence. You will learn here about the Baldrige criteria. Next, you will learn about how to manage strategic change. You will learn here about the 3-stage model. Next, innovation and change management. Here you will learn about Harman process strategy metrics. So overall, and the last one, 7, how to lead and manage projects. Projects. We know every organization undertakes several projects. Every organization, because when we are living in 21st century era, modern organizations, they undertake a lot of projects. An organization might have undertaken several projects at a time. Several projects, okay? Projects about new technology development, about website, about software, about skills, about trainings, about product development, about process development. So many projects might be going on within the organization. And my dear, section I, the 5 skills. You will need to learn about communication. You will need to learn about commercial acumen. You will need to learn about analysis, evaluation, and skepticism. These are the 5 skills that you need to be familiar and learn, because in your exam, there will be 20 marks for these 5 skills. There will be 20 marks for these 5 skills and 80 marks for the knowledge. Okay, professional skills 20 marks and knowledge side 80 marks. All right, next. How is the SBL syllabus examined? A 4-hour exam with a single compulsory section, 1 question that is integrated case study with a number of tasks and requirements. Okay, to ensure that the tasks are realistic, that ACCA can examine the syllabus more widely. Candidates may have to take on different leadership or management roles in different contexts. Yes, there can be like 6, 7, 8, 9 requirements because there is no specific pattern. There is no set pattern. There is no fixed pattern of the SBL paper. Okay, there can be varying types of requirements, and every requirement might be seeing you in a different role. Sometimes you would be working as project manager. Other time you might be working as a sales and marketing consultant. Understand? So your role keep changing. The purpose is to prepare you from a variety of tasks perspective, just like in the practical real world. So there would be the skills that are assessed tend to be more practical and analytical rather than technical or academic, and could include, for example, there would be data analysis of spreadsheets and their interpretation. Yes, my dear, you can be given already prepared spreadsheets, already prepared data. Analyzing visual aids such as heat maps. Yes, you can be given heat maps, flow charts, process maps, etc. Problem identification and resolution could be required from you. Making supported recommendation can be required. You would be required to draft a report. That is typical, common thing in SBL. Draft a report, draft a memorandum, memo, draft a letter, article, briefing notes, or any other form of business communication, drawing up some presentation slides with accompanying notes. Yes, my dear. You can also be required to draw some slides, or even some slides can be prepared already and you would be required to prepare notes. Yes, in the past paper, there is question where slides were given, notes were required. Okay. This is certainly not a complete list of tasks, but provide an idea of range of disparate information sources that might be provided in the examination paper, as well as the style and type of answers required from one student. And yes, my dear, you might have also heard that there would be multiple SBL papers. Do you know about that? Can be multiple SBL tasks or requirements or scenario. What is this? If there are 10 students in the exam hall, those 10 students might have different version of paper, varying versions of paper. Are you aware of that? Hello? Do you know about that? There would be different versions of the paper. Each student sitting in the same hall. Very good. I'm happy you already know about that. Next. Next is types of tasks in the paper. There would be 3 types of tasks. Let's explain those 3 types. So you should be very well aware. This is my own category. This is my category. Okay. I have categorized the SBL task into 3 categories. Easy, medium, high difficulty. Most of the tasks would be easy. Then there would be few medium category, and 1 or 2 you can expect of high difficulty. What is this? Let's discuss. Easy task means that all the information you will need to write your answer for a requirement would be given within one exhibit. Mean within one exhibit or one page, all the information will be given that you will need to write your answer for a task. What is medium difficulty? Information will be scattered within multiple exhibits, maybe in 2, 3, or even 4 exhibits. Information would be scattered. So to write your comprehensive answer, you will need to read all those information from all multiple exhibits. That is medium difficulty. High difficulty is something unique. There would be little help. There would be little information given in the exhibits or in the scenario. But this high difficult task will require your broader knowledge. Broader knowledge, your problem solving skills, okay? There would be little help from even the syllabus as well. So this will require you have a broader reading as well, broader knowledge about industry, about markets. So in every SBL paper, you can expect 1 or 2 questions of this high difficulty level, okay? Where little information in the scenario, but more of your commercial acumen. Commercial acumen. How much you know about the real life problems of companies facing. All right, my dear, any question? Any question, please? Feel free. This is your class. This is your class. So never feel shy in asking question. Do you have any question till now? Any question till now? Okay, move on. A glimpse of requirements from March 20 paper. Let's have a look how the paper look like, how SBL paper look like. Task 1, TT4U's Chief Executive Officer is concerned about the possibility that major contracts will not be won or renewed, and would like your views on what the main risks are for TT4U. Requirement. Prepare briefing notes. What? Briefing note. So which document you have to prepare? Briefing note. For the board, this is, who is your audience? These are the points which you need to remember, which you need to pick. Who is your audience? Board. Which analyze, what you have to do? Analyze the main risk which threaten TT4U being awarded new contracts and retaining current contracts. You have noticed I have highlighted in 2 colors. There is a reason. There is a reason. Lot of students, they don't clearly read the requirements, so unable to understand and answer those requirements. My dear, This is one of the skill that you will need to develop, and I will help you to develop that skill. How to read SBL tasks, how to read SBL requirements. There are 2 requirements in this 8 marks task. One is risk to new contracts and risk to existing contracts. So your answer should reflect both. Then you will be able to get these marks. Then you will be able to get these 2 professional skills marks. Professional skills marks are available for demonstrating analysis skills in establishing the risk relating to TT4U. So when you will discuss the risks to new contracts and risks to existing, then you will be able to get these 2 marks. So the point here is that you don't have to write for these 2 marks. You will only have to write for these 8 marks. These 2 marks will be awarded on the basis of how you approach your answer. Approach means structure your answer. I hope you have got a glimpse of the style of the paper. Okay, we can have more. At the recent directors meeting, the information technology director proposed that TT4U should develop new services in relation to the Internet of Things. The services director proposed that TT4U should focus on winning more government sector work. The chief executive officer wants your report to include consideration of these 2 strategic options. This is what you need to learn. CEO wants your report to include consideration of these 2 strategic options. What are these 2 strategic options? One is of Internet of Things, other one is government work. B, requirement. Prepare a section of your report which evaluates the 2 strategic options proposed by the directors. My dear, please listen carefully. This type of task is tested in almost every paper. Every paper, evaluate strategic options. So you should know how to evaluate. You should know the model which is there, part of syllabus, how to evaluate. Okay, move on. There are 12 marks. So I hope you have understood how the pattern, the style of SBL question. This is not the style of any other paper. This is very practical. Let's have a look at the task summary of past papers. So you should know that there is no fixed pattern of this paper, no fixed pattern. There's always a change. For example, if we look at September 18 exam, task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. In task 1, there were part A and B. Task 2, there were only 1 part. Task 3, there were 3 parts. And task 4, there was 1 part. But in December 18, this was different pattern. In September, December 19, there was a different pattern. In March 20, there was a different pattern. And even inside the tasks, there are different requirements. Not only the number of tasks are changing, but there is also change in the requirement in the requirement as well. My dear, move on. Structure of the SBL CB paper. No predictable structure. Case can be set around an organization operating in the public or private sector or profit or not for profit. The board structure of each case will give candidates information about an organization from a variety of sources. So those sources of information can be interviews with staff, survey results, briefing notes, board or organization reports, press articles, website extracts, organizational reports such as IR extract. There can be email, there would be memos, spreadsheets, pictures, figures, tables, diagrams, presentations, organization charts. There is no specific pattern of SBL. There is no specific pattern. Got it? Next. So, road to success. How you need to approach your exam. This is, we will go through in detail when we will start practice questions. Okay, so if I discuss now, there would be little value of that. More value when we will start practice. In every practice class, we will need to get through this road to the success. So you should be clear before solving any question, what you need to do, how you need to develop your answer. Okay, so you can just have a look at the key points that you will need to have the time management skill, reading the case study, how you need to read the case study, all the guidelines, detailed guidelines I have included here, how to analyze the requirements of the question. I will train you, I will teach you, I will prepare for you for the paper. Okay, so here is also a glimpse from March 20, may help you understand nature of the requirements. We will go through later. Planning, how you need to plan your answer. How you need to plan your answer. So you should remember the principle, the 5 P's of planning. Proper planning prevents poor performance. So this you must learn. Planning. That's why I told you, plan before each SBL class. That's why, and I will help you. And my dear, how to plan and structure. This is later when we will start practice. We will learn about how to structure your answer. Okay, so later we will go through this one. This whole manual is very, very useful for your whole like preparation. Answering question, guide to follow. Writing skills mean typing skills. All right, and that's it from this one. How is the exam to be marked? There are technical marks and there are professional skills marks. There are 80 technical marks. So you have to write for 80 marks. Okay, 20 marks will be awarded on the basis of how you approach your 80 marks. All right. 5 professional skills that you need to learn, you need to work, you need to prepare, because these 5 skills, there are 20 marks. So there is commercial acumen. Commercial acumen has 3 further components. Commercial acumen means show insight, demonstrate awareness, and use judgment. Skepticism has 3 components: probe, question, challenge. Analysis has 3 components: investigate, inquire, and consider. Evaluation has three components: assess, estimate, appraise, and then communication. Inform, persuade, and clarify. So these are the five skills that you need to develop. And by the way, these are the 5 skills that you will also need in your professional workplace as well. Okay, next. General tips to earn professional skills marks you can get through from this. By the way, when we will start working on questions, this will be more useful, but you can get through. You can have a read on this and have a look at why students fail in SBL paper. Although there's a 50% pass rate, mean 50% students pass this exam. This is a very high pass rate. A little disciplined approach can help you pass this paper. You just need to commit with yourself that you have to pass it in December. Why students fail? They don't follow structured approach. SBL requires structured approach in answering every requirement. But those who don't follow a framework, a structured approach, basically in practical, in real business problems, we also follow a structured approach. In real world, we also follow a structured approach. When meeting a challenge or solving a problem. So same is required in the SBL paper. They don't answer what is required. Rather, they write what they know. That is a big problem. My dear, I don't want you to display the same. Okay. One may fail marginally between 45% and 49% is likely because of poor exam technique and possibly a lack of focus on demonstrating professional skills. One may score a very low mark, perhaps under 25%. It is more likely due to lack of knowledge or failing to apply the knowledge in a practical way to the tasks. A common reason failing SBL paper is time management. That is a typical common problem. Although there are 4 hours, although you have to write only for 80 marks, but writing SBL answer is a challenge. You need practice. Good practice. You need good practice to get all skills. My dear, you can see the table. Here is the list of past exam results. Okay, started from June 19 to March 2020. So you can see there's almost 50%, less or more, around 50% is the paper pass rate. You can pass it. You can pass it, but you need a commitment, a discipline approach. All right. How will I lead and add value? So I will provide you knowledge book, a comprehensive, complete 100% syllabus coverage. You will have summary notes. You will have a practice kit. You will have work assignments, 2 mocks. Very important to take these 2 mocks to know your position. Share latest corporate world stories relevant to SBL to broaden your knowledge and enhance your commercial acumen. In every class, you will have certain articles to read and videos and podcasts. Continuing support through WhatsApp group. Train you how to develop a structured approach to pass the exam. This is my job. I will train you. Train you how to read the case. Connect the dots, information given in the scenario, how to read and analyze the tasks. What is effective communication through writing or improve your writing skills, how to structure and draft the answer, avoid mistakes, time management. All this is we will be working on. And reading list, little bit, SBL Professional Skills Marking Guide, importance of effective. There are plenty of resources available on the SBL section of the SBL section of the ACCA website. Okay. There are a lot of resources available, but anyway, I will keep you guiding. Well, this is my job. This is my responsibility to keep you guide, keep you direct what you need to write and what to read. There are more resources available, such as Apple Podcasts if you are using iPhone. There are Bloomberg News. You need to download the app, Guardian or Guardian.com or Guardian app. This is a like authentic news source. Okay, you can download the app. Financial Times, this is a paid newspaper, but you can just glance through the headlines to have an idea about what is going on in the world. Wall Street Journal, it is also paid service, but by downloading the app and just go through the headlines. Economist is also paid. Here I would recommend you, in Mauritius, Economist magazine is available. If you know, you can find it on the I think Super U. You can find it at Super U because I have been purchasing magazines from the Super U. Or I think you can also find it Jumbo. If can you find it Jumbo? Economist magazine, huh?
We'll try to see.
Yes, I'm not asking to buy it every week. It might cost you, I think, 230 or 250 rupees. I would recommend you can buy it after 2 weeks.
Okay.
Very good stories, full of insights, data, okay, insights, informatics, and lot of like global business, global politics, global economy, social trends, media, art, lot of insights for you. So I would recommend you can buy every 2 weeks. And get through. Okay, update your knowledge. Then there are McKinsey insights. If you can download McKinsey app and you will have very rich source of knowledge, latest updates, industry trends, interviews with the CEOs that you also need to be aware of. Then BCG, you know, the world, McKinsey is world leading management consulting firm. Then there's a BCG insights. Then there are PwC. PwC also has very rich sources, okay, on the latest business. Even if you are using Apple phone, then there are podcasts I can recommend you from the PwC on the latest trends, on the latest business, economy, audit, controls, reporting, sustainability. I can share with you those podcasts. Okay, then there are like some resources from EY as well, which are freely available to enrich and enhance your knowledge. So my dear, these are the sources, and definitely before every class, I will share with you what to read before the next class. So that's all about our introductory manual and all that about the SBL. Now we can go for a short break. Okay, almost 7 to 10 minutes of break. And after break, we will be starting with our study manual. Okay, we will be starting from strategy. We will discuss a little bit about strategy, what strategy is, and one or two more models. So you can have idea about SBL syllabus. Okay, so you can take 10 minutes break time, and after break, see you starting with strategy. So after break, we will cover the process of strategy development. We will cover external environmental analysis and Porter Diamond model, if time will allow us. So 3 models we are going to cover after break. See you after break. We have 10 minutes of break time. Welcome back. So we are starting now the discussion of few topics. This is your volume 1 that you will be receiving. This volume covers 4 sections of the syllabus. Strategy. We are starting with section C, strategy. Section A, leadership and change. Section B, governance. And section D, risk management. Whereas volume B will be covering the remaining sections of the syllabus. Okay, let's begin with strategy. First of all, you need to clear what strategy is. A lot of people think that strategy and a plan are same things. No, my dear. No, no, no. There is a very clear difference between strategy and a plan. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about strategy. There is no standard or a single definition of strategy because every writer or scholar has introduced their own version of strategy. So let's try to understand what strategy is. In its simplest form, a strategy is a course of action which an organization chooses to compete successfully. Let me revise. A strategy is a course of action which an organization chooses to compete successfully. Okay? If you want to broaden the scope of this definition, you can also define it like this. A strategy is a course of action chosen by an organization to compete successfully and satisfy its stakeholders. This is a little bit broadened version. If you want to broaden it further, you can define it. A strategy is a course of action chosen by an organization to compete successfully, to satisfy its stakeholders by exploiting the opportunities in the external environment and by using its resources, skills, capabilities, and competencies in most efficient way. Are you clear with the definition of strategy now? Hello? Are you clear with the definition of strategy? Which one you think you would like to remember? Hello? I have shared the 3 versions of the same definition. Which one you would like to write down as notes? Which one? My dear, can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, is my voice clear? Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So you can note down the definition of strategy. A strategy is course of action selected by an organization to compete successfully and to satisfy its stakeholders by exploiting opportunities emerge in the external environment, and using its internal resources, competencies, and capabilities in most efficient and effective way. Most efficient and effective way. Is it clear now? Are you clear on the definition of strategy now? This is important. You should know what strategy is. If you are clear, can we move on?
Yes.
Hello, my dear. If you are clear, can we move on? Very good. Next, now we're moving to the process of strategy development. How to develop strategies. Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington model for defining elements of strategic management, the strategic position, the strategic choices, and strategy actions. So, my dear, here is the formal strategy planning process. Keep in mind, we are learning how to develop strategies. How to develop strategies. This is the form. There are three approaches. There are three approaches towards strategy development that you need to learn. Part of the syllabus, part of SBL syllabus. Okay, these include deliberate strategy, emergent strategy, and incremental strategy. Please repeat with me. Number one is deliberate strategy. Number two is emergent strategy. And number three is incremental strategy. So these are the three approaches towards strategy development, part of syllabus, which we are going to learn. Three ways to develop strategy. Let's talk about deliberate strategy. Deliberate strategy is also called top-down. Top-down strategy. Top-down strategy means it flows from top of the organization. Top means from the board of directors, from the top management it flows. Let's have some reading. Deliberate strategy is also called prescriptive strategy and rationally planned strategy. It is another name used for it. Rationally planned strategy. It is also called formal strategy development process. Okay, it is the outcome from a formal strategic planning process in which management. So how strategy is developed under deliberate approach. Management carry out a strategic position analysis. Management carry out a strategic position analysis. Then identify and evaluate the strategic alternatives. Then make strategic choices and then implement the strategy. So there are basically 4 stages involved in this strategy development. Let's repeat. Number 1, carry out external position analysis. My dear, external position analysis involves 2 types of analysis. There are 2 types of analysis. There is external analysis and there is internal analysis. There is external analysis and there is internal position analysis. In external analysis, we carry out opportunities and threats which are emerging in the external environment of the organization. Internal analysis is we carry out the analysis of our resources, our competencies, our knowledge, our skills, our capabilities, and we identify what are the weaknesses and strengths within our resources and skills. Okay, this is called very comprehensive strategic position analysis, which I hope you are clear. Number 2, once strategic position analysis is carried out and SWOT analysis is part of that. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then we identify, okay, what options are available for us after that analysis. So we look for alternative. We have option 1, option 2, option 3, and we start evaluating those options. Which option makes most sense for our mission, for our vision, for our objectives, for our goals? Okay, out of those options, we make a choice. We choose the most appropriate. Okay, and then once a strategy option is selected, then we go for implementation. It is also called action stage. Action. It is also called action stage, where we implement the strategy. So this is how you need to understand. For example, the Volkswagen board determines that they are going to electric vehicles, or they are going to make electric vehicles, or they are going to make 100% electric vehicles. So they will follow this process. Or the Starbucks board, for example, decide that up to 2025, 50% of their energy should be from the renewable sources. So this is the board decision. So Starbucks board also decide that 60% of our cups used should be from recycled material. Okay, 60% of cups used in the Starbucks cafes should be from the recycled material. Or the McDonald's, for example, McDonald's board decide that we will be 100% lit up by renewable resources or renewable energy till 2030. Or we are going to cut our waste by 70%. We are going to source 60% of the ingredients from the local supplies. So these are the different objectives, for example. So they choose how are we going to do all this. So they will follow this deliberate strategy or formal strategy planning process. Here is a view of formal strategy planning process that we just have discussed. So it all starts from mission of the organization. First of all, mission and vision. Vision and mission, these are 2 different things. Don't think both are same. Visions tells us future picture. How do we want to be? How do we want to be? Where we want to be? Where do we want to be? How do we, or how would we like to be looked like in the future? Our future picture, vision. Mission is about purpose. Why we exist? What is the purpose of our existence? for what we stand, what matters most to us. This is mission of the organization. Once vision and mission are decided, then long-term strategic objectives are decided. Long-term objectives are decided. For example, I gave you objectives are Starbucks, for example. I gave you objectives are Starbucks. I gave you objectives of McDonald's. I gave you objectives of Volkswagen. I gave you, for example, the objectives of LVMH. So every organization, IKEA, every organization has their objectives. They want these strategic goals. Okay, so to achieve these strategic objectives, they need to define strategies. They need to develop strategies. So how will they develop strategies? First, they will carry out external analysis, then internal analysis, then stakeholders analysis. So after carrying out these three types of analysis, they will look for options. Once options, they will choose option 1, option 2, option 3. So after having those options, they will choose the most suitable option, strategic choice. And once choices are made, then they will implement the strategy. Implement. For example, we were talking about that McDonald's say that 60% of ingredients locally sourced ingredients. Why? To empower local farmers, for example. Okay, McDonald's say that 60% of the inputs used in their like cafes, restaurants will be locally sourced, and they want to uplift the income of local farmers. Understand how they will go for that? What options they will have? They will look for alternatives, and then they will choose, and then they will implement. And the last stage is review and control. This is called performance review and control. This is not part of SBL. Not part of SBL. This is a part of advanced performance management. That's why APM and SBL both are very connected with each other. Where SBL ends, this is the start of APM. Or you can say that a lot of APM theories and topics are interchangeable between these two. Anyway, once strategy is implemented, actions are taken, then you need to check performance of your strategy. That's very interesting point. You will check progress of your strategy. Measure progress of your strategy. This means very interesting point. Very interesting. How successful is our selected strategy? How successful is our selected strategy in achieving our desired objectives or goals? That is called performance measurement. So I hope you are now clear about deliberate strategy or top-down strategy approach. Next is called emergent strategy. Emergent strategy. What is emergent strategy? Oh, okay. First, let's have a look at, okay, emergent strategy. First, have a look at reading. An emergent strategy is a strategy that is not formally planned. Formally planned. This is not formally planned. Okay. This is formally planned. This is not formally planned, but which emerges in response to unforeseen developments and opportunities in the external environment. Focus, focus, focus. This emerges in response to unforeseen developments and opportunities in the external environment. I can take a note here for you. This strategy emerges from developments in the external environment. Okay, opportunities in the form of opportunities or response to threats in the external environment. Okay, so this strategy emerges from external. I will give you multiple examples later. Ideas for an emergent strategy might come from employees or fairly junior managers rather than senior management. This is a key feature of emergent strategy, that ideas, because it is based on opportunities in the external environment. Now, who is close to the external environment? This is the lower level management. This is the operational level management or operational level staff who is more connected with the market, who is more connected with the customers. Operational level staff who is more engaged, connected with customers, better understand their concerns, their changing patterns and concerns, better positioned. Operational staff is better positioned to come up with creative solutions that can help the organization develop new products, services in response to changing market conditions. Yes, a new word for you, changing market conditions. In other words, you can call it, reinvent business model. It is also called business model innovation. Business model innovation. Now come to the point. We are learning about emergent strategy. And here, few notes I have written for you. Next. However, once a new strategy has emerged, the entity applies the strategy consistently. A company might develop both deliberate strategies and emergent strategies. Yes, it is another point for you. Together, a company can follow deliberate approach. Deliberate is a top-down formal strategy development. On the other side, it also empowers its staff to come up with new ideas and make experiments, make trials, make prototypes, develop new products, and go into the market. Okay, on the one side, there is top-down approach. Other side, there's a bottom-up. Emergent strategy basically is a bottom-up strategy. bottom-up approach. An organization can have both at a time. These two methods of strategic developments are not inconsistent with each other. Rather, they are consistent with each other. There might be formal business plan, deliberate strategy, containing deliberate strategies, but the company's management might be willing to develop new strategies whenever unexpected opportunities arise, even though they are not in the formal plan. But a staff is being encouraged. Staff is being encouraged and empowered. A strategy that begins as an emergent strategy might be included in a future formal business plan, so it eventually becomes a part of deliberate strategy. Here, you must know the requirements for emergent strategy. Key requirements for emergent strategy. Key requirements for emergent strategy. Very interesting. And if I tell you, all big tech companies, you talk about Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, they are the clear examples of emergent strategy. They are following emergent strategy. Key requirements for emergent strategy. Number one, there should be visionary leadership in the organization, visionary leadership. Number two, believe in staff creativity. Number three, empower operational staff. Empower about what? To come up with ideas, develop ideas, and work on them. Okay? And very important thing, culture. Entrepreneurial culture, innovative culture within the organization. Innovative culture, where staff is encouraged, not discouraged, but they are encouraged to design and develop new ideas and work on those ideas. And this is called entrepreneurial culture, okay? It is also called intrapreneurship, a topic we will be working in the leadership area. Intrapreneurship means like nurturing a culture of entrepreneurship within the organization. Okay, a culture of startups culture. Okay, you can also call it lean startup or lean organization. Have you read a book, very famous book, Lean Startup by Eric Ries? Lean Startup. Have you heard about that book? Lean organization. Okay, now let's talk about the latest examples from the corporate industry of emergent strategy. Latest examples of emergent strategy. Although there are a lot of, for example, the electric vehicles is a new fashion now. And there are so many companies, so many startups are working on their own brands. Apart from main electric vehicles, main manufacturers, there are a lot of startups are coming with e-vehicles. Number two, but where I want to give you more interesting example is social media. Within the social media, a new feature. Guess what is that? How TikTok, what is the model of TikTok? Can anyone tell me, please? TikTok model. I am waiting for your response. What is the model of TikTok? Hello. What is TikTok model? No idea? Short videos. Amit, what is the duration of TikTok videos? Maximum length of TikTok videos. These are short videos. Got huge popularity. Huge popularity. Okay, massive success. And then it was followed by a trend. It became a trend and it became an opportunity. So followed by Facebook, Insta, and YouTube. These short videos, what are they called on the Facebook and Insta? Are they called reels? Are they called reels? Quick, please, quick respond. We are discussing emergent strategy. Are they called reels? And in YouTube, what are they called? On YouTube, what are they called? They call shorts. Next time, when you go on the Facebook and you see reels and shorts on the YouTube, this is the following the model of short videos concept that was developed by TikTok. My dear, are you clear on this latest example of emergent strategy? Are you clear? And you would be amazed that now there are more people who are watching these reels and shorts. And subcontinent is the leading region where reels are watched. Hello? No response from your side. Are you clear on emergent strategy? Are you clear? My dear, give response. This is, and if you want to have more examples of emergent strategy, think of sustainability, sustainable development. This is a new fashion now. This is a new fashion. So sustainable development, all the big companies, you can start from Zara, H&M, and go to other brands such as Gucci, Versace. You can talk about hotels. You can talk about transportation. There is a massive shift, business model transformation towards sustainability, towards sustainable development. Companies are cutting their emissions, cutting their waste, cutting their natural resource use, going more on recycling, going more on reuse of the materials and recycling. Okay, so this is all now we can link with the emergent strategy. Even plant-based food We can also quote it here, plant-based food. Okay, and there are a lot of other examples of emergent strategy. Next, incremental strategy. Third type of strategy development is called incremental strategy. First, let's have a look at what is incremental strategy. Incremental strategy is a strategy that is developed slowly over time by making small changes to existing strategy. Changes to strategy are not large or far-reaching because the management of the entity cannot see the need for any substantial changes. When the entity's business environment is changing fast, small changes to existing strategies are unlikely to be sufficient to ensure the survival of the entity, and incremental change might be associated with aimlessness and lack of strategic direction. That is called strategic drift. So, in incremental strategy, there is risk of strategic drift. There is risk of strategic drift. Let's look at this strategy again. Incremental strategy, in simple, is historical strategy of the organization, which the organization is still following, making small changes to its existing traditional strategy. But the problem arises. We have discussed today in start of our class that 21st century organizations need 21st century strategy. An organization following our 20th century, this is a very big statement, our 20th century, last century strategy is more likely to fail. There is a reason. We are talking about business model innovation. We are talking about reinventing your business model. We are talking about disruption. Imagine in the era of electric vehicles, if an automaker, any automaker, such as Jaguar or Range Rover or Lamborghini, for example, if an automaker continues making traditional cars, what would you say about that? Although making small changes to existing engines, petrol, diesel engines, now I'm asking you, what do you think of that? If an automaker continues with old model of engines, what future look like? What future look like? Please share your thoughts quickly. You have just 1 minute. You have just 1 minute. What future look like for that automaker? You know, when the world has already announced a petrol, diesel, conventional car-free world, are you aware that many countries no more sales of such cars after, like in many countries, they have given time period of 2030. Many countries have given time period of 2035, and the last is 2040. After 2040, there will be no sale of conventional cars. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of that, my dear? European Union, UK, USA, Canada, Japan, Singapore, Australia, and other countries as well, definitely they will follow. Do you know that there will be no sale? Those countries has already given the timeline. Are you aware of that? So, my dear, there is a risk of strategic drift. There is a risk of strategic drift. What is strategic drift? It's a part of your syllabus. Many entities go through periods of relative continuity when their strategies are largely unchanged or change incrementally. This situation can go on for a long time, many years. There is a risk of strategic drift in this type of situation when same strategy is continued. Repeatedly, I'm telling you, your organization need new strategy for 21st century. For 21st century, your organization need new strategy. Look at this. There is a risk of strategic drift in this type of situation when strategies are increasingly inappropriate for dealing with the strategic position of the entity. There are no changes or only minor changes in strategy when changes in business environment, even though they are not dramatic, mean that different strategies would now be more suitable. Gradually, the performance of the entity deteriorates. In short, in simple, strategic drift happens when the changes made to the strategy would not be sufficient to the bigger changes happening in the external environment. Ultimately, what happens? What happens? That happened with Nokia. Do you know Nokia was the victim of strategic drift? Not clear? In 2009, Fortune magazine, on the title page, I think Forbes, or let me check, Forbes or yes, it was Forbes magazine. Let me download it for you, or I will share it in the WhatsApp group for you. Forbes magazine mentioned Nokia 1 billion customers. Can anyone catch the cell phone king? 2009. Apple, first iPhone was launched in 2007, and that was the disruption in the phone market, mobile phone industry. But unfortunately, Nokia did not realize that was when Apple launched, that was disruption. Apple has disrupted the mobile industry by introducing smartphone. It was smartphone. It was smartphone. Nokia phones were not small. They were using Symbian system. Symbian system was not small. On the other side, Google already has launched, means the Android was already launched. But Nokia unfortunately did not realize that massive change in the external environment. They believed their system was most powerful. And what happened? Within just 2-3 years past, Nokia started losing its market share. Nokia started losing its market share. I can tell you another example of incremental strategy. Apple Watch, sorry, this is the combination of emergent and incremental strategy. Apple Watch, how it has won in the market. Is another story of wearables, gadgets, and emergent strategy. Anyway, the third strategy is incremental strategy, and we know this strategy has little space in 21st century because in 21st century organization need constantly disrupt their business model. 21st century organizations constantly reinvent their business model. So incremental strategy has little space in the 21st century. Even I would say deliberate strategy has low space now, low relevance now in 21st century because deliberate itself is a slow strategy process. It is a slow process of strategy development. So the most relevant, most suitable for 21st century is emergent strategy. This is for 21st century. This is for 21st century. Keep reinventing your business model. My dear, how this topic will be tested in the SBL paper, let's talk about. How this topic would be tested. Note down, please, note down. SBL paper, a question, a task may require you to evaluate what? Evaluate or analyze the existing strategy development approach of the organization in the changing external environment. The task may also require to make suitable recommendation. So my dear, it should be clear to you the three types of strategy development. I think that is sufficient. The time is already up. So that's sufficient for today. I hope you liked my class. I hope this is, you might have noticed how much passion and love I have for these two subjects, SBL and APM. I told you that these both subjects flow in my blood. So how much, it is beyond the words, how much I'm crazy for these to learn. That's part of my job as well, research, analysis. So always looking for industry trends, new knowledge, new patterns, and then helping organizations to transform their strategy. You can take my contact details, my email address, matloobilahi382@gmail.com, and my contact My contact you will have in the WhatsApp group, but anyway, if you want it. Okay, so thank you very much, my dear all, for joining my course. I hope you like my style, and definitely in every class will be more powerful than this, but your participation will be needed to make it more effective and more impressive. All right, thank you very much. Have a very beautiful weekend. Thanks a lot for joining my course, and looking forward to see you in the next class. Stay blessed. Enjoy the beautiful winter in Mauritius. See you on next Saturday. Goodbye.